Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop letting someone control you, they don't give up but switch to a more sophisticated method? Manipulators don't walk away when they realize you're no longer easy to influence. They evolve, and their next move is far more dangerous and cunning than anything they've tried before. It's like a spider quietly spinning its web in a dark corner, or a hunter hiding in the woods, waiting for you to let your guard down. They smile, they appear calm, but inside they're planning. When they lose control over you, they will try to control the story about you. And that's the real test. Will you fall into the trap or rise above it? When you rise above, you don't just escape. You expose everything they tried to hide. The tactics of a manipulator are not limited to direct threats. When you set boundaries and refuse to submit, they resort to dirtier tricks. Public humiliation, playing the victim, spreading subtle lies, isolating you from others, using guilt to manipulate you, undermining your confidence, and finally pretending to reconcile just to test you again. These actions don't just cause pain, they challenge your ability to remain calm, composed, and rational. But here is the crucial point. True power belongs to you only when you know how to maintain control over your mind and your actions. Stoic philosophy reminds us that calmness does not come from controlling others, but from the ability to govern yourself. When you clearly understand the tricks, recognize the intentions, and hold firmly to your own values, you will no longer be easily swayed or fearful. Real strength is standing firm in silence, remaining steadfast, and not allowing others to dictate your life. In this video, we will dive into each of the most dangerous manipulative tactics and explore how to apply Stoic philosophy to maintain calm, self-control, and inner strength. What you learn today can change the way you respond forever, helping you become unshakable and rise above all cunning strategies. First, they try to humiliate you in public when all their private manipulations no longer work. When threats, gaslighting, or silent pressure lose their power, they turn to public actions to break your confidence. Their goal is clear. If they can't control you directly, they will try to control how others see you. They hope that the fear of being judged, embarrassed, or mocked will make you submit. These actions are often subtle and hard to recognize, starting with light jokes, small remarks during meetings, or sarcastic comments sharp enough to make you doubt yourself. When you confront them, they act harmless, laugh it off, and say you are too sensitive or that it was just a joke. But deep down, their true goal is to diminish your value in the eyes of others because they have failed to manipulate you directly. A typical example is Claire, someone I know, who once worked under an extremely cunning manager. When Claire remained calm, composed, and did not react to private attacks, the manager began testing her in front of colleagues. During meetings, he would interrupt her, roll his eyes, or make sarcastic remarks about her ideas. On one occasion, he even joked, "We should give Claire a trophy for staying late twice this month." Everyone laughed, but Claire felt the pressure. She did not get angry or argue. Instead, she let silence fill the space and responded calmly. Staying late is not a medal, it is a failure of the system. Her composure allowed everyone to see through the manager's behavior, and his manipulative tactic lost its power. Stoic wisdom reminds us that true strength comes from within, from the ability to uphold your own values and truth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the opinions of 10,000 people are meaningless if they do not know the truth. And Carl Jung emphasized that shame is an emotion that corrodes the soul. When you do not let public opinion dictate your worth, you become untouchable. You do not need to prove yourself or react emotionally. You simply need to stand firm, focus on the truth, and let your inner calm express your strength. Public tactics are a challenge for anyone, but it is precisely the ability to maintain calm, self-control, and clarity in your actions that allows you to overcome them. When you stand firm and do not react emotionally, all their tricks become ineffective. They fail not because they are weak, but because you are stronger than they expected. And this strength, according to Stoic philosophy, is the solid shield that protects your values, reputation, and inner peace against all external pressures. Second, they play the victim when they realize you are no longer easily manipulated. When you begin setting boundaries, refusing to yield to pressure, or no longer fearing threats and guilt, they shift to a more sophisticated tactic, making you the one at fault while presenting themselves as a sympathetic party. In this way, they hope to create doubt in the eyes of others and force you to react, explain yourself, or question your own actions. This is a dangerous tactic because it not only affects how others see you, but also shakes your inner confidence and calm. A manipulator will turn every action, every boundary, and every display of your independence into signs of selfishness, coldness, or ingratitude. They portray themselves as suffering, misunderstood, and hurt to make you and those around you question your character. Their goal is to control the narrative, manipulate your emotions, and create mental pressure, causing you to doubt yourself or feel guilty for maintaining your boundaries. For example, Lauren, a friend I know, was in a long-term relationship where she always gave more than she received. When she began to protect herself, say no, set boundaries, and prioritize her own peace, her partner did not confront her directly. Instead, he started telling stories about her to friends, turning her steadfastness into selfishness and coldness. Lauren did not get drawn in. She did not try to explain or prove herself in every conversation when he was not present. Instead, she focused on healing herself and holding on to her truth and values. Over time, the people who mattered recognized the truth without her needing to say a word, while her partner's false narrative collapsed on its own. Stoic philosophy teaches that you cannot control how others perceive you, but you can always control how you respond. Epictetus once said, "He who blames others has a long way to go in learning." When someone plays the victim to make you appear at fault, you do not need to shout or justify yourself. The truth does not need to be proclaimed or proven. It only needs to stand firm. Stay calm, continue doing what is right, and trust that time will reveal everything. When you do not get caught up in the drama, you have fully regained your power. Third, when they realize they cannot control you directly, they shift to a more sophisticated tactic: spreading lies. These are not blatant falsehoods, but skillful distortions of the truth, sowing doubt and causing others to question you. They do not say outright, "You are bad," but drop vague hints and suggestive remarks that make others speculate, creating ambiguity so that people draw their own conclusions. The goal is to slowly undermine your credibility in ways you may not immediately notice, causing you to lose the trust of those around you. Subtle lies often appear as small comments, suggestive hints, or questions that seem caring, but are actually loaded with doubt. For example, "I feel like he has been acting a bit different lately," or "I wonder if she is still motivated at work." These statements plant seeds of doubt in the listener's mind while also creating a sense that you need to explain or defend yourself. They are not direct, but they are subtle enough to unsettle your confidence and credibility. A real-life example is Eric, a colleague I know, who refused to participate in dishonesty on a project. Afterward, vague comments began circulating in conversations when Eric was not present. "He seems more difficult than before," or "Lately he has been a bit rigid." Instead of reacting negatively, Eric remained calm, continued performing excellently, and maintained his boundaries. The consistency in his actions rendered the lies ineffective. Those who mattered gradually recognized the truth through Eric's behavior, while the manipulative scheme slowly unraveled. Stoic wisdom reminds us that the truth, though slow, is always enduring. Seneca said, "Truth is simple, lies are complicated." Mark Twain warned, "A lie can travel around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." When others sow doubt, do not chase after every falsehood. Live honestly, uphold your values, and remain steadfast in your actions. When you stand firm in the truth, the lies will collapse on their own, and you become untouchable, immune to these subtle manipulative tactics. Fourth, when their previous tactics no longer work, they will try to isolate you from those around you. This is one of the most subtle and dangerous strategies manipulators use. They do not need to confront you directly or create open conflict. Instead, they plant doubts, make vague comments, or shift the atmosphere within a group so that people gradually distance themselves from you, creating a gap you may not immediately notice. The goal is to make you feel lonely, doubt yourself, and become more emotionally vulnerable. For example, Jenna, a colleague I know, was part of a close-knit project team. When she began to grow more confident, set boundaries, and demonstrate her capabilities, one colleague felt threatened. He started dropping vague, suggestive comments to make others doubt her. Gradually, coworkers began to withdraw, no longer sharing work as before or inviting her to important discussions. The work environment became cold and distant. They did not need to attack directly. The isolation was carried out quietly, subtly, and effectively. However, Jenna did not react emotionally. She maintained her integrity, performed excellently, and focused on real value. Her consistent actions caused the isolation scheme to gradually collapse. The people who truly mattered recognized the truth without her having to explain anything. The manipulator revealed their true face when their tactic failed. This is a clear example of the power of maintaining calm, upholding your values, and acting consistently. Stoic wisdom reminds us that you cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always control how you respond. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who make you better." Machiavelli also emphasized that controlling the narrative is a way of controlling others. When you realize someone is trying to isolate you, stand firm, recognize the tactic, and maintain your integrity. Consistency, values, and calmness are the strongest shield against isolation. Fifth, when all direct tactics no longer work, manipulators turn to a subtle yet extremely ruthless strategy. They use guilt to make you do what they want. This is one of the most dangerous weapons because it strikes directly at your heart, conscience, and compassion. They do not argue or persuade with reason. Instead, they go straight for your sense of guilt, responsibility, and kindness. Phrases like, "After everything I've done for you, you're not grateful," or "If you really cared, you would do this for me," are precise emotional daggers designed to make you feel guilty and abandon your personal boundaries. Guilt is effective because it exploits your care and conscience. When you begin to doubt yourself, you agree to do things you normally would not, giving up your needs, rights, and personal boundaries. Over time, you gradually lose energy, continuously say yes when you want to say no, and forget your own control. This is the manipulator's goal, to control you by making you carry responsibility and guilt yourself, rather than giving direct orders or threats. A clear example is Danielle, who had a family member that frequently used guilt to manipulate her. When Danielle decided to take a job far away instead of congratulating her, the relative said, "It seems like family no longer matters to you." At first, Danielle felt guilty, blamed herself, and began to question whether her decision was selfish. Gradually, she realized this was a manipulative tactic. She stopped engaging, set clear boundaries, and acted based on self-respect and her own values rather than fear or guilt. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that true freedom begins when you master yourself. Epictetus once said, "No one is free who has not mastered themselves." When someone uses guilt to control you, it is important to recognize and separate this feeling from reality. Guilt only has power if you believe in it. When you realize it is a tactic, you will not be drawn in, you will not be swept into unreasonable pressure, and you will not lose your inner power. An effective practice is to pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I acting out of fear of guilt or because this is the right thing for me? When you answer this question honestly, you regain control. Stoic wisdom teaches that you do not need to prove or explain yourself to a manipulator, nor do you need to give up your own rights to please them. Your inner freedom cannot be manipulated if you maintain boundaries, trust your own values, and act from clarity. When you recognize guilt tactics, uphold your boundaries, and choose to act from self-respect, you will notice a profound shift. They may continue to apply pressure, but you are no longer the victim. You maintain calm, self-control, and inner strength. In this way, you not only protect your power and values, but also expose their manipulative nature. This is the true power that Stoic philosophy conveys. When you master yourself, no one can control you, no matter how subtly they try to use guilt. Sixth, when all previous tactics fail, manipulators turn to undermining your confidence. This is a subtle yet extremely ruthless strategy because they do not need to make you fail immediately. Their goal is to slowly make you doubt yourself, lose confidence, and weaken your ability to make independent decisions, ultimately bringing you back into dependence on them. When they strike at your self-belief, they gain control quietly but effectively. They use small but continuous actions to make you question yourself. Sarcastic remarks, loaded questions, or concerned comments that are actually filled with doubt and judgment. A seemingly harmless statement like, "Are you sure this is the right decision?" Or, "I think we should consider this more carefully," repeated over time will make you question your competence, judgment, and stability. Every word, glance, and action is designed to make you doubt your ability to stand firm. As your confidence gradually diminishes, you begin seeking approval from others, which is exactly what they want, to bring you back under their influence, not through direct force, but by making you question yourself. A clear example is Chris, someone I know, who was in a relationship where every achievement of his was diminished by his partner. When he received a promotion, instead of congratulating him, she said, "It must have just been luck." When he made decisions for himself, she asked, "Are you sure you're not wrong?" At first, Chris ignored it, but over time, he began to doubt his abilities, hesitate in decision-making, and gradually lose his inherent confidence. His confidence eroded little by little until he recognized it as a manipulative tactic and began practicing Stoic strategies to protect his mind. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that true power lies within your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events." When your self-belief is attacked, you need to recognize the tactic, protect your values and achievements, and maintain confidence and personal boundaries. Stoic wisdom teaches that confidence does not rely on others' praise or criticism, but on the awareness of your true abilities, actions, and intrinsic value. An effective practice is to record your achievements and values each day, reminding yourself of the abilities, skills, and positive qualities you possess. When you maintain your confidence, their subtle tactics become ineffective. They can no longer make you doubt yourself. Integrity, consistent actions, and belief in your intrinsic value are the strongest shield against all manipulative strategies, helping you stand firm and remain untouchable in the face of those who seek to control you. When you recognize their tactics, protect your confidence, and uphold your boundaries, you not only maintain calm, but also expose their manipulative nature. True strength comes from within, and when you master your mind, no one can manipulate you, no matter how subtle their tactics may be. Seventh, when all previous tactics fail, manipulators resort to their most sophisticated strategy, fake reconciliation, to try to re-enter your life. This is the final step in their subtle toolkit, targeting your trust, hope, and emotions. They will act remorseful, apologize, behave gently and considerately, and even praise you to gain favor. These words may sound sincere, as if after all the conflict they have realized their mistakes and want to change. But their true motive remains manipulation and control, only presented in a more subtle and skillful form. Their goal is to bring you back into the sphere of influence you have separated from. They observe, learn to mimic your behavior, and appear empathetic toward the boundaries and values you are maintaining to find a weakness. When you open up too soon, old behaviors gradually reappear, this time more subtle and harder to detect. This is a challenge to your awareness, your ability to recognize tactics, and to uphold boundaries. They exploit your trust and hope that you have forgotten previous strategies or believe that they have truly changed. A real-life example is Naomi, who had ended a relationship with a manipulative partner. After several months, he returned with apologies, promises of change, and displays of concern. Naomi remained cautious and observant, but quickly recognized familiar signs: subtle reproaches, controlling tones, and probing of her boundaries. Instead of trusting his words, she watched his actions, upheld her boundaries, and continued living according to her own values. Her awareness and steadfastness prevented her from falling into the trap, even though the apologies and initial gestures were very tempting. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that wisdom is not about blindly believing apologies, but about recognizing behavioral patterns. Epictetus once said, "He who does not recognize deceit is not truly wise." Wisdom is observing actions over time and holding firm to your own values and truth. Not every apology or reconciliatory gesture deserves to open the door. Trust your past experiences to protect your inner peace. When you maintain boundaries, stay aware, and do not let emotions control you, they can no longer manipulate you. True strength is recognizing this and moving forward with power and stability, without being drawn into the drama they create. They may appear gentle, but it is your consistent actions, values, and clarity that serve as the strongest shield against all manipulative tactics. An important principle of Stoic wisdom is to evaluate actions rather than words. Apologies are not as important as actual behavior. A person who has truly changed will demonstrate it through continuous, consistent actions that respect your boundaries. When you notice old patterns repeating, maintain your boundaries, protect your mind, and act from clarity and self-respect. By practicing this, you not only safeguard your peace, but also expose their manipulative nature. They cannot control you, no matter how sweet their words or gestures may seem. True strength comes from within, from the ability to observe, recognize, and uphold your intrinsic values. When you stand firm and do not react emotionally, you become completely untouchable, even against the most subtle and sophisticated tactics. Looking back at the 7 tactics manipulators use when they cannot control you, you will realize one important truth. They only have power if you give it to them. Whether they try to humiliate you publicly, play the victim, spread lies, isolate you, use guilt, undermine your confidence, or fake reconciliation. Their sole goal is to control your mind and behavior. But true power lies in your hands, in how you respond and uphold your own values. Stoic philosophy teaches that you cannot control the actions of others, but you can always control yourself. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that real power belongs to your mind, not to external events. When you remain calm, act based on truth, values, and integrity, even the most subtle manipulative tactics become ineffective. What manipulators fear most is that you do not react emotionally, do not let them control the narrative, and continue to live true to yourself. Remember 3 principles to protect yourself. First, recognize the tactics and understand their intentions. Second, maintain calm, integrity, and focus on your own actions. Third, build and nurture genuinely valuable relationships, not allowing lies or manipulation to undermine your confidence and connections. By practicing this, you not only protect your own peace, but also expose every scheme, demonstrating the inner strength they can never control. If this video provides value to you, hit like and share to help others recognize similar tactics. Comment and share your experiences, as your story can help others understand and protect themselves. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons on Stoic philosophy, learning to stay calm, self-controlled, and resilient in the face of any challenge. Now the power is yours. Stand firm, maintain your boundaries, and move forward with unshakable confidence.